When I would go to grandma's house, I would look on the shelf and there would be this big blue box.
I think I know what you're talking about. As a 5-year-old, I remember being so disappointed.
It's decorated with the most delectable cookies. And it never occurs to you, why is this box on the shelf?
Danish blue tin cookies.
Damn,
Please
I don't know
explain.
how you your cookies become synonymous with sewing. And welcome to another episode of
Unanswered,
a podcast where we love to think, question, and connect. We use idioms, phrases, and famous sayings from different cultures to examine life's biggest questions and to hopefully find some answers. My name is Joe.
And I'm Joyce. We love to bridge generations, nations, and stations and give you a glimpse into our lives.
But before we do any of that, what we want you to do is take that finger and hit that subscribe button.
And follow us on your favorite social media platforms. We are on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, everywhere. X, LinkedIn.
And I think that address is unANSWERED100.
Yes.
On
How could I
all of the
forget?
social media.
We have a good one for you today.
Yeah, well, hopefully we have a good one for you today. I think it's one that everyone knows and has experienced, but
not the saying,
but
though.
not the saying.
Yes,
Hopefully
the
you
saying
don't
is
experience the
really
saying.
cool. It's a Cantonese saying.
Oh, here we go. I wish I had some
One-
Chinese music for the background.
食碗面反碗底.
Oh boy.
Yeah, just give it up.
I'm gonna pass on this one.
So it literally means you eat from the bowl and you flip it over.
That's me every day.
No. You only flip it
I
over
flip
in
it
the
over into the
dishwasher.
sink.
No. So, but okay, I'm not gonna say too much about this because we've got an animation explaining the origins and stuff.
First, the animation will explain what it is, what it
Yes.
pertains to, and then we'll come back. We'll talk a bit more about it.
食碗面反碗底. Eat from the bowl and flip it over. A Cantonese saying. There are some phrases that were never written down first. No playwright coined them, no philosopher published them, no newspaper printed them. They were born at dinner tables, spoken by ordinary people, describing something they kept watching happen around them. To understand why this image is so devastating, you need to understand one thing about Chinese culture. The only time you ever flip a bowl is during ancestral rites, when you're offering food to the dead. So to flip someone's bowl while they're still living, that's not just rude, it's a ritual act of erasure. It says, you no longer exist to me. And you did it after eating their food, after receiving their kindness, after they poured everything they had into that bowl and placed it in front of you. The English language has a version of this. Don't bite the hand that feeds you. But that's a warning about consequences. 食碗面反碗底 isn't a warning, it's a verdict. It describes the moment someone receives your generosity and repays it with betrayal by choice. This phrase has no birth date, just centuries of people watching it happen and needing a word for it. Because some kinds of betrayals leave a mark on us.
All right, so let's jump into this. Actually, that was a really good video, right?
食碗面反碗底.
食碗面反碗底.
Okay, not bad.
Hey, don't
Not
hate the player, hate the game. You
bad.
understand? It's just talking about betrayal, right?
Yeah.
And a person who has done something for you or has been some way in your life, you've done something for them rather, and then you've been betrayed in some way, shape, or form. Or maybe it's a person you were friends with and you were betrayed. So this whole thing is basically talking about betrayal. And
Yes.
I guess our question for today would be, what is betrayal, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
how do we deal with it? If I could say one thing, well, we're going to get to this question later, but is there a way to avoid being betrayed?
Okay. Yeah, we can talk about that.
We can talk about that. I have another question before we
Okay.
get through. Are betrayals inevitable?
Yes. Yeah, that's a good question to talk about.
Yeah.
Okay, so a question for you first.
Yeah.
When was the first time in your memory that you experienced betrayal?
If we want to be honest, I can think of 2 instances of betrayal.
Okay, share.
One of them is When I would go to grandma's house, right, and I would go in and I would look on the shelf, and there would be this big blue box, right? This big little circular blue box.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Why is it so painful?
And
it's a tin. It's not a box.
It's
a
tin.
Blue
it's a
tin.
little. Is it a steel? Is aluminum? I don't know what it's made from.
Tin.
It's metal. I know that. It's a tin, and it's decorated with the most delectable cookies. The most delectable
it's a blue
pictures
Danish
of cookies. It's the Dansk cookies or
yes,
whatever they are.
Yes.
And you're like, oh man, this is going to be good. And it never occurs to you, why is this box on the shelf? Why is it in this room? But you just see the boxes, so you automatically think, oh yes, this is going to be a good time. And you go and open it, and why in the world is there needles and thread and thimbles and yarn? You're like, what is this? What is this nonsense? That is almost like a betrayal.
In my experience, in all the people I've talked to, it seems like it's like a cross-cultural thing. Because in my house, in my Asian household, there was such a tin.
It's always a cookie box.
It's always a cookie tin.
Like, how many people have ever had this experience where you get the yellow, the little, not yellow, it's blue. The little blue, maybe it's another color, but it's a cookie tin. And for some reason, they only store sewing stuff inside, like needles, thread, bits and bobs. You're like, what the world is this?
I've actually seen reels about this.
Really?
On Instagram. Yeah. People actually going,
It's a universal experience.
I've seen people comment on this specific thing on Reddit.
Really?
Yes, and they're from Nigeria. So this is like a universal phenomenon, I think.
Why?
Like,
and
why?
How did that come about?
What was your favorite cookie?
Where? Growing up?
No, in the cookie tin.
Oh, okay. Let's be clear. All the votes are in. There is no voting on this. Hands down, the best cookie in the tin is the pretzel. The pretzel with the sugar sprinkles on top.
No,
that's the best one.
I disagree.
No,
I disagree.
There's no argument against this. How many people out there agree with me that the best cookie in the tin, in the circular tin, is the pretzel? The pretzel with the little sugar sprinkles on top. That is the best one. A close second. If they had the raisin one in there, the one with the little raisins, that was a close second.
And the ones that were made in the 80s had more raisins. Nowadays they have one.
Yeah, it's like,
they have one raisin.
That's not a raisin. It's like a piece of a raisin. It's a raisin. They don't even put the rest of the raisin in there.
Danish blue tin cookies. Dansk. Please explain. Is that your ultimate purpose?
How did your cookies become synonymous with sewing? And there's the question.
It's funny now, but as a 5-year-old, I remember being so disappointed. And you're right. It feels like a betrayal because...
This is supposed to be cookies.
Yeah, because you were expecting something else.
Yeah. So it became about expectations and unmet expectations.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Actually, it doesn't seem like that's like such a big betrayal. I know that's a funny example, but I think that as kids, it's real to us then, you know? And I'm not trying to be like, oh, this ruined my life. No. It's nothing like that. So I said I have another example.
Yeah.
Right? And let's see. So... I think it was Jimmy Kimmel. I'm not sure, but I know it's one of those late night show comedians. He would always ask the parents after Halloween, after the kids had gone out and done all their trick or treating, to take their candy and hide it, and then act like they had eaten it all the next morning and video the kids' reaction.
It's so horrible.
You talk about betrayal, and you can see the look of betrayal on these kids' faces. And some of them are livid. I mean, the kids are livid.
Some of them are so precious. They're like,
it's okay.
It's okay.
You were hungry. Like they're crying. It's okay. I'm like, it's so harsh because
it's so bad.
But those situations, like it's for us as adults, we're like, oh well, it's just candy. Now they didn't really eat the candy, but those
But-
kids, it was so real, you know, and it was like this massive betrayal, you know.
It is the betrayal in
Yes.
the deepest sense. Like
Yeah.
for a 10-year-old, what can be more valuable than
The
candy?
candy. Like, what would you? Oh my gosh, what do you think you would have done in that situation?
Oh my gosh. Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you. Who else?
Like as a kid?
Yes.
Oh, I would have cried so hard.
Oh man.
Because these are your parents who's supposed to
You
nurture
trust-
you and
yeah.
support you. Yeah, they've broken your
They've
trust.
broken your trust
And
at
that
that
is
point.
precisely why I would never do this. And
Yeah.
people might say, oh, you're just such a killjoy. I'm not a killjoy. I just refuse to betray my kid like this.
I'm practicing betrayal with my child.
Yes, I don't want to prime them to not trust me. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, but some might argue that we're preparing them for the real world because you're going to have to face that in the real world.
no.
And I'm like, I don't know if I would have
The
prepared for
real
that.
world is going to prepare them for the real world.
It's like you're going to be hurt in real life, so let me hurt you.
No, that logic doesn't
That-
doesn't
I don't
work
think
for
that
me.
tracks. You know.
No.
But yeah, here's a question: why do betrayals hurt so much? Why is it so deeply felt? Why do they hurt so much?
Because I think betrayals happens when there's a gap between expectation and reality, right?
Right? Yeah,
And,
for sure.
And
It happens when there's a gap between expectation and reality. It also happens when, as we said before, there's a betrayal of trust. Yes,
there's a bad
exactly.
intention there.
Yeah.
Because like people won't consider it betrayal if you look at the sky at night and it looks so sunny and you were expecting a really sunny day tomorrow and you wake up to a rainstorm, right? Like that's a gap, but there's
Right.
no feelings of betrayal because there's no bad intent.
Right.
Right? Like
Right.
we all know that nature is nature. It does whatever it wants. And no one is maliciously raining down on your party. But I think for me at least, betrayals hurt so much because of that ill intent.
It's ill intent, like on the person or whatever that comes. But I think also that level of expectation is part of it. Like, the example you just gave, our expectations are set at a certain level. And even though those expectations are not certainly met if the weather changes, we still understand that the weather can do whatever it wants to. So we
weather-
don't get upset. We're just like, man, another dreary day. Let me get up and go to work. You know.
Yes.
So the expectations are managed, right?
Yes, yes.
So if our expectations aren't managed in certain situations, we can certainly experience betrayal in that situation as well.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Sometimes, let me put it this way. If you have a close friend that does something to you and you have someone who you don't care, you would have two totally different reactions
Yes,
sometimes,
yes,
right?
yes.
Because this person's close to you, you're like, dude, you know me. Why would you do
Yeah.
this? But if it's somebody else, you'll be like, I don't care about this guy.
Yeah.
So your expectations are different.
Yeah.
Does that make
Yeah.
sense? Yeah.
And I think it also violates the standard of goodness in our hearts. Do you think?
Let's dive into that. Okay,
Because I think that's why it hurts so much, right? Like you mentioned a friend, right?
yeah.
It hurts so much when someone close betrays you because you expect there to be goodness, to be respect, to be honor between friends. At least I do.
Right.
And I think this is a pretty universal feeling because like it hurts the same way.
Yeah, it hurts the same way. Whether you're young, whether you're old, no matter
Whatever
what
occupation, what
whatever
nationality, yes.
what ethnic
It
background.
stings the same way because I think
Yeah.
it violates something sacred within us.
Yeah, and it can actually, once you are betrayed, it can change your behavior quite easily.
What do you mean?
Well, for instance, I'll give you an example. You start to lose trust very quickly. You start to defend those areas. You know the way that I never get excited about trips.
Yeah.
I never get excited about trips until I'm actually en route.
Yes.
Do you know where that comes from?
Tell me.
Okay, so when I was younger, my father, we didn't really hardly go anywhere, and we're, you know my
Yes.
history. We were didn't have a lot of money or anything like that, and so he was like talking about going to Chicago, and so Chicago's like an hour and a half away from us, and man, I would get so excited because we had an uncle that lived up there, and I remember going up there once, and it was so fun. And so he would tell me, "Hey, we're going. Get me prepared. Like we're going up to Chicago this weekend. We're going up to Chicago." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm getting excited." And the whole week I would be like, just like I can't wait. And then he would even give me a time. We're going at this time, so and so. Okay. I would be ready, have my little backpack already packed and stuff. And 6 o'clock comes, we haven't left. 8 o'clock comes, and we're going. No, we'll go tomorrow. Okay, all right, okay. Then tomorrow, hey, are we going? And it just kept going like that until it just like we never went. And I was just like, man, come on. Now if that happened just once, that would have been okay. But it happened like a number of times, and I was just like, it got me to the point where I'm like, because the first couple times I felt betrayed. I'm like, I've been waiting. I turned down other things, right, so that I can go. And it was like, man, come on. And now it just got me to the point where I was like, well, I'll believe it when we actually are in the car.
Or on the flight.
on the highway. We didn't fly anywhere, but I was like,
but you're still this way.
But I'm still this way to this day. I don't get excited
when we're on the flight.
Then I'm like, we're on a trip, and you're like, why are you excited now? We've been planning this for weeks, for months, and I'm still that way. You're right, I'm still that way. But that's why, right? And so it can actually change the behavior, or it can affect the behavior, right?
Wow, that's too bad. That's. Sometimes we just don't realize the power we have on other people. And,
some people might, oh, come on. Yeah, I'm not saying it's a major problem or anything like that. I'm just saying it's real. And
it's real.
It's real, and it can affect us. Yeah, for the person that is happening to, it's real. Yeah. Right? So, yeah.
I remember this. Actually, I was 3. We were in Hong Kong, and we lived with my paternal grandparents. And one day, my grandpa's brother came by to visit. I picked up the chicken feather duster, in Hong Kong. So something you guys need to know, in many Asian cultures, the feather duster is not for dusting. It's for spanking.
It's the equivalent of a switch. Yes. I don't know if everybody out there knows what a switch is, but I know if there's anybody who's African American out there, you know what a switch is.
Yes. So that thing is for spanking. So I just picked up that thing and I was like, I wanted to spank the brother. And even at 3, I knew he was bad news.
Wow.
So turns out he was bad news, and he and my grandfather actually started a oyster sauce business together.
Wow! Oh yes,
in Hong Kong. It was actually Hong Kong and Macau. It was very famous. Yeah. In the 80s, and he was a sales guy, and my grandpa was the actual. He actually made the sauce. He was the soul. Yeah. Behind the whole business.
Yes.
And he secretly, in the back end, I think, changed over all the assets in his name.
Wow.
So that my grandpa actually owned nothing.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know all the details behind it, but I know you guys have mentioned it before.
I actually went, and when we were researching for this episode, I actually went to talk to my mom again and tried to get the story straight. Right. And I was researching his oyster sauce company, and people are still talking about it today.
Really?
Yes.
Well, we need to start making that up. Let's start.
No, there's nothing. There's nothing left. Like I can't even find it. But you guys have
the recipe still, Joyce. Come on. Let's make a move.
Do you know how hard it is to make oyster sauce?
I can find out.
So, but anyways, it's just I remember that season of life. It was chaotic. It was, it got to a point where my grandpa has to take this to the courts.
Oh man,
to get his stuff back. Yeah,
and this is him taking his own brother to court.
Yes, because otherwise he has nothing to pass on to my dad.
Yeah, so it was utter betrayal.
Yeah, it was all out betrayal. Yeah.
Yeah. And your grandfather's the one that kind of brought him in, so that's definitely flipping the rice bowl over. It's
Yes.
definitely biting the hand that feeds
Yes.
you. The whole works. Like,
All of it.
yeah. So man,
If betrayals are so common, why does it still destroy us?
because once again, there's a level of expectation that people are going to be true to their word,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
We have, I think, a compensity, a desire for truth, right? And that's even to interact with truth from other people when your word is your word. And when I say something to you or something that's going to happen,
Yeah.
I believe that each one of us have that desire for that.
Yeah.
At least that's my thought. Well, I mean, what do you think?
I don't know. I think for such a common experience, our collective reaction towards it is surprisingly visceral. It's surprisingly physical.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, there's a visceral reaction. There's
'cause-
almost like gut level.
Yeah. Because and we don't teach this at school or even like, at home, we don't teach our kids, okay, one day you're gonna.
One day you're gonna experience this. Well, I guess those Jimmy Kimmel parents, they're teaching it.
I don't know if that's the best way to teach.
They're teaching it very well. One day, this is what it's gonna feel like.
I think it's also, have you heard of optimism bias?
Optimism bias. Yes, go ahead, explain it to me.
Like, we are prone, as humans, we're prone to be optimistic.
Right, to see the glass half full.
We want to see the good in people. And
Yes.
I think that contributes to it.
Okay, that's for the most part. Not all people, but for the most part.
No, for the most part,
Yeah.
I think.
As I said before, we have this desire for truth. We have this desire for goodness, right?
Yeah.
For things to be good.
Yes,
Right?
yes.
And there's nobody's like, no, I want everything to be bad. No one says that.
No one says that. Says
No
nobody.
one. We all have this desire to see goodness, to experience goodness, and that level of goodness is determined, I guess, by different things. But we all have this innate desire for good.
Yeah.
So when that doesn't happen, or then it elicits that negative response.
And I'm even thinking, we've been sharing personal stories, and I'm thinking of betrayal, kind of like pushing the boundaries a little bit, and thinking, what are other kinds of betrayals that people feel? And it brings me to, if we look at a bigger picture of the world, right? Like, it's really interesting how we respond to certain types of betrayals. So I've immigrated twice in my lifetime, right?
Right.
And the first time was from Hong Kong to Canada. And now as a kid, I didn't feel any of this, but I could just imagine my parents, how my parents felt, right? Like, not just my parents, but immigrants around the world. The only reason you would immigrate, meaning move from your home country to a completely new country, right, is because you're not satisfied with the status quo, or if you feel betrayed by your home country, right? Certain promises weren't kept. You don't see a future there, right? Like, it is, to a certain extent, a sense of betrayal. But to have the hope that things are going to get better in a new country that you know nothing about,
Right.
that's a special kind of hope.
So let me ask you this, and maybe you've experienced this. So, because what I think I hear you saying is that there's these people who have this experience of immigrating to a new place, immigrating to a new country. They get there hoping like this is the dream, this is what we fought for, and they get there and they almost feel betrayed if it's not what they have imagined.
Yes. But yes. It's not what they imagined, but even the act of immigrating is a little bit of the optimism bias. Like, because you're experiencing this in your home country right now.
Right. and it's going to be better. The grass is going to be
better. Yes,
the grass is going to be greener
on the other side, right? Like, it's that hope.
Yeah.
And I find this really fascinating because if betrayals are so common, why do we still have that hope?
Well, I think
why do we keep on hoping?
I think it's our nature. It's our nature to hope. Like
Man,
I said,
then-
it's our nature to hope for the best. It's our nature to strive for the best. Whatever that best is, it's our nature to look for that. Now, if your nature is to strive for the least and to hope for the worst, then there are mental. I think there are mental. There's names. There's names for that. You know, so we can do that, but that's a whole nother episode. You know, so.
I just find that fascinating, you know, that we keep hoping, like as humans, we do that to whatever extent, like some more than others, right?
Yes, this is a very even existential question. Like, why do we hope?
Why do we hope?
Why do we hope? And what does that mean?
What does that mean?
Why do we always look and search for the greatest good?
And
like,
where does it
where does that come from?
Where
does that come from?
Where is its foundation? Like where does it come from?
You're getting into some heavy stuff there.
But I think
that we don't have time to discuss in this episode.
I think it's a good question to ponder.
Excellent question.
Because I think we all have experienced one kind of betrayal, or another.
Yes.
So I think, it's good to think about. Why do we still hope? Like, if one friend betrays you, what prevents the next friend from betraying you? We don't think like that. We just kept on hoping. We're like, okay, yeah, that's yes, I would probably have developed some protective mechanism,
right?
But I'm not going to stop making friends. I still continue.
And that was my question, because what you're saying is spot on. This is part of the issue. We are creatures who always hope. We always hope for the best. We always run for the best. We always look for the best. We always desire what's the good, right? So the question then becomes, is betrayal inevitable?
Is betrayal inevitable?
I don't know if we already asked that,
Inevitable
but
meaning you cannot avoid it.
You cannot avoid it.
Ooh, that's rough. I would say so. Like, if the blue Danish cookie tin is a betrayal, then we have no hope.
Okay, but let me say this really quick. I think there's a difference between disappointment and betrayal.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
So the Danish cookie thing is absolutely disappointment. As a kid, it's probably more betrayal. I felt it as betrayal, but it's more
because it was the grandmother's cookie tin.
Exactly.
It was my mom's cookie tin.
I expect to find goodies.
Okay, let's get back to this.
But let's get back. Yeah. So it's inevitable. You know, I actually think that it's inevitable. So we just have to prepare ourselves for it. But once again, because we're creatures who seek the best and hope for the best, we're not just creatures of gloom and doom and look around like, man, I'm going to be betrayed. Oh, man, I'm good. No. And we have to realize that there's a difference between disappointment and betrayal.
Yeah.
Disappointment there's lots and lots of disappointments. And I think the level of our expectations many times can determine whether it is a disappointment or it is a betrayal.
Our level of expectation determines whether or not it's a disappointment or a betrayal.
Right.
Okay, our expectations. Do you think that expectation has to do with the relationship you have with the person who's...
It can definitely be part of that. Mm-hmm. I gave the example earlier, and I say it again now. If some dude, I'm walking down the street, and I hold the door open for someone, and they don't say thank you, it doesn't even bother me. Why?
Yeah.
Because I don't know this person, right? Yeah. And I know that's a little thing.
Inconsequential.
Even if I'm on the street and somebody asks me for some food or something, and I give them food and they cuss at me, I'm just like, oh, this guy, whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Why? Because my expectations are so low for this interaction and for this individual that I don't hold them. It's like I expect people to be, honestly, this is going to sound bad. I expect people to act in a negative sense for the most part. Just
to not be loyal.
Yeah, to not be loyal, to not be
respectful.
Respectful. You expect that, right? So when it happens, you're not surprised.
Whatever.
You're like, well, okay, yeah. But for other people, especially people who are your friends, especially those who are even closer, who are your day ones, those you're like, when they do something, you're like, come on, bro. Like, it's different because there's like almost like a scale, like a bar graph, because they can get away with more, but when it's something that's really important, man, it hurts, you know, and it's like, no, this is betrayal. This is it, right? But those who you know better, you'll let them off with a lot more. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Where we had friends who were very close and were just absolute opportunists.
Yeah.
There's no question. They're just opportunists. And so when the rubber hit the road, they went for opportunity more than loyalty.
Yeah. Opportunity for self-advancement, for more money, more fame, more power, more opportunities.
Absolutely.
Yes,
and
definitely.
these are people who acted like they were day ones, acted or tried to convince us they were day ones, you know. And it's like, man, that's when you're like, this is absolute betrayal.
Yeah.
And it's like, what do you do with that? And you know what I do with that? We're done. Oh man!
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys for joining us. I don't know if we answered the question, but we'd love to hear your thoughts on. First of all, have you ever been betrayed? Do you feel like a betrayal is inevitable? And how can we avoid it? How can we avoid being betrayed? Like, how do we manage the expectations?
And also, how do you prepare the next generation to
deal with
betrayal? Yes.
To deal with the situation where they will experience betrayal. Is there a way?
Yeah.
And so, we'd love to hear it. Also, before you leave, if you can just go ahead, just rub your hands together real quick like this, warm them up, put up one pointer finger, and hit that subscribe button.
And follow us on your favorite social media platforms. We are on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn, X, and Facebook. So under unANSWERED100, come say hi.
Unanswered 100, please come say hello. Thank you guys for joining us. We love to be able to hear from you, so make sure you write in, and hopefully we'll see you on our next episode. So thank you once again for joining us. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.